I guess I should just make sure that the unsmooth as well. Studio mode. Good size. Huh? Okay. Audio seems fine. I realize I never checked for if there's like a DLC save file for this game. Let me do that first. Monster Hunter Wii U DLC. Everything seems like it's fine on my end, so that's good. I guess I haven't gotten into the actual game, but like, look at me ball. We assume here, sir. Okay. That's activated. So let's transition. Turn off studio mode. Wop, wop, wop. Verification time. Sleepy. This is also a fixed sign. Standard. Okay. Pretty sure I have the controls and everything set up. So. Should be good. I'm like partway through Chai, so I should be able to at least tell some differences. Because I'm pretty sure they come up pretty quickly from my memory of this game. Like, I don't think I ever got all that far in this game as a kid. I think I never got up to the Wagyu, at least. I might have gotten up to the, like, first, like, fake fight with it, where you make it a cheat, which is, that's where I am in Chai currently. But I'm pretty sure I remember meeting both the Kezu and the Arzuros pretty early into this game. But with the Kezu there, I think not there's a chance I am just thinking of the Giganox. But even then, if there is a set Giganox fight that early, that's already a difference from track. But I know the Arzuros is like, at most, the second large monster you fight. I'm pretty sure it's legitimately only the Great Jaggy before him. Did I click this? I never remember if I clicked the update stream info thing. wonder if I could turn off that. Overlay. Notification. That all. Okay, that's good. I think I gotta clean my glasses first. This isn't like a joke. My glasses that have just kind of been... I feel like they've been getting dirty a lot recently. I think it's probably because my nightstand is very full. So, fidget room. Oh, don't fidget room. I am very blind about my glasses, so putting them down, it's very likely that I like accidentally fuck it up and they end up. Hello, GitLab. I currently do not have my glasses on, so I am far away. This also reminded me that I should post that I am streaming in Discord. I forgot to do that. Oh, my glasses clean? Yeah. We had this like large microfiber cloth for my glasses, but we lost that. So now we either have this small one, which I think is probably a better cloth type, but it's small, so it's kind of bad in that sense. Or we have this other big cloth that is, I don't think, a microfiber cloth, so it doesn't work super good. What? Synchron glasses? What? Also, just realized, first change from try. I'm pretty sure this is the first time you just auto start with an armor set. Because in base try you have to buy your first armor. I'm pretty sure. Do you just have it in there? Even so, first time you start one. MH. How I realize I don't think I actually ever asked you how you like being referred to. Get feels weird. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, maybe that's something that does just work worse over voice than text. Because like, Git is a word. I know you use it. It's a reference to the GitLab, but like, Git means. Is Git derogatory? I don't know. Unpleasant or contemptible person. I guess that's not that derogatory. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is also like GitHub and stuff. Is GitHub is Git the computer term my Linux thing? I kind of just assumed it was. I guess I don't know what I assumed the history behind it was. Guess that makes sense. I assume that is called GitHub as like a joke about Git requests, because that's where you get code from. Question mark. That makes sense. This game stalks you with one of everything. Gun and gaming. The guy. I think it's Neko means cat is like one of the parts of this game I remember the most, because it Neko means cat was probably one of the first like explicit references to Japan I would be able to think of that's like that is like a this is a thing made in Japan joke about Japan, I guess. So I learned when I got back into Monster Hunter that Neko means cat is an entirely localization joke. I don't remember if there is a specific reason they went with that joke, like if he talks funny in JP. Or if it is... Because like, he does dress like a samurai. Like, he is Japan cat. I just don't know if the joke is that he's Japan cat in Japan, and they just decided he's Neko meets cat as like a Keikaku joke. I had not noticed that even beyond like the NPC spawn points, they spawn you in a unique, like, shooken up version of the hub at the start. That's neat. I don't know why I said neat. I got actual gaming time. Wherever you go, there you are. Hey, touchy analogs. Like, okay, man, nothing. Like, that's fucking. I don't know if I like that. Back buttons. Seems like no. Interesting. Do I not have this set to not be Wii U gamepad? I thought I set it up. Okay, yes, I do. It just does not have. What if, like, people have set up the Wii U gamepad to be able to work with, like, PCs and especially Wii U emulators? I do have the control software. Yeah. I know people really dislike the Wii U gamepad gimmick while it... People dislike all gimmicks while they exist. But I do think... I think the Wii U gamepad is maybe the one that has the most reason to exist. Just because, like, there's a lot of stuff you can only do if you have a set standalone screen. I think it was just kind of that. The Wii U gamepad felt like Nintendo trying to make couch co-op work in the peak of, oh, why would we ever do that? We can just play online culture. like something like Nintendo Land has a lot of interesting game types. Even something like you see now, like a lot of it is the asymmetrical multiplayer genre. I don't think it really existed at that point. There were probably like specific cases, but it as a meaningful genre didn't really start until I think stuff like Dead by Daylight came out after the Wii U. And like stuff like Nintendo Land, I feel like is very similar to that. And I think people appreciate the idea that we should maybe go back to expecting or wanting couch co-op now. Like very often I see people complaining that games don't have couch co-op settings. Like I know with Sparking Zero there was a lot of complaints because that didn't allow multiplayer that intensively until after release. Like there are other console gimmicks I like. Uh, I never had a Dreamcast, but I think the VMU is a very cool idea that allows for at least interesting concepts you could do with it, even if I don't know if it was super well utilized on the console itself. But like the VMU is both something that like if made today it would just be like it would be game specific and it would just be a phone app. Like it would make that's something, you know, Nintendo might do, and it would be I think Nintendo is kind of doing a VMUS thing with the Switch too, where there's like a Nintendo phone app that you can connect to a bunch of Nintendo specific Switch 2 games. Yeah. That's like kind that's kind of how a modern VMU would be, presumably, just because like the Tamagotchi case is mega died. Also, yeah. Like, I don't see how the VMU could return, but I think that's something like the Wii U gamepad is something that... I guess the Wii U gamepad would probably also be a phone. Like, you would just use a phone and be able to connect it to the console to do stuff. Do I need more? There's phone gun. I need to just upgrade. Okay, that will be a while. This would make the ice place a lot quicker to access in this version. think that, like, I think we are at a point where console gimmicks are probably just an impossibility to really super meaningfully exist unless it is like Switch is both a handheld and console thing. Just because, like, I don't know if a purely portable console could really come out in the modern day. Like, both just because that is a basically only Nintendo thing, and I think they'll probably be pretty set on the Switch style for another console gen. And like, I do not know if a portable console would do well now. I think that, like, I think stuff like touchpads and, like, I know the Switch 2 has, like, the controllers can also be mice. I think that is probably the closest we'll ever get, is stuff that is trying to make PC games work better with a console experience. Because I think the reason console gimmicks would not really be a possibility anymore is that the PC market is too big, so people will want to be able to port their games to PC, or will want to be able to port PC games here to consoles. So it's like, if you have a console-wide gimmick, that will either make it so you have to make another version of your game for PC, or you will have to be a big enough console that PC devs will want to port their stuff to you. And it's like, both ways, I don't know if that would really happen anymore, considering I would not be shocked if, like, especially non-Nintendo consoles just die in, like, 1 or 2 gens. I think the problem with a lot of, like, stuff people look back on fondly when it comes to the, like, before the last gen of consoles, I guess, is probably when I would place the cutoff point, is that the stuff people look back on fondly was also the stuff people hated then. Like, people always got mad about, like, even if people weren't actually super meaningfully mad, people would, like, joke about, oh, imagine being a kid and getting this version of the game. When it came to, like, different port versions and stuff. Which, like, I think that is a true enough statement, you know? Like, I think, like, when you are viewing games as, like, an actual meaningful art form, it is kind of bad for them that they are also expected to be just on some way, stuff like DS and PSP versions of games are kind of similar to, like, censored versions of movies for TV airing and stuff, in terms of, like, they are an odd existence where they are both, on some level, you know, things you should critique as artistically and that have some level of merit, but they are also entirely commercial endeavors. Like, obviously, a lot of things are commercial endeavors, but, like, they are entirely commercial endeavors, I guess is how I would describe it. Also, like, stuff like that does still exist. It's just now there is a Nintendo Switch version that is worse, but you can dress up as Link, maybe. Which is arguably even worse for, like, viewing something like that as a meaningful artistic thing, considering, like... It is just a worse version of something. Yeah, I get a bunch of other points about, like... One of the things about, like, console gimmicks and stuff like portable consoles is that, like, they are harder to preserve the experience if, you know, they stop being made, they become hard to get physically, etc. Like, there are just a bunch of DS games that you cannot really emulate in a way that feels good. Like, I'm very happy that I do have a hacked 3DS, even if it is, I think, yeah, it sometimes acts up. Just because, like, I could not imagine playing something like Super Control Mecha MG on emulator. That sounds like a nightmare. And it's also like... I think it's just one of those weird things where, like... when the actual physical aspect of, like, playing a game is so important to them as, like, artistic statements, you are always going to box out some people from being able to experience the artistic statement. And while, like, obviously, you know, it's harder to both emulate the DS, but also, like, I assume the DS is kind of a nightmare for, like, handicapped people. Like, how would you play a DS game that requires you to use the touchscreen and buttons? How would you play something like Tui if you had one arm? You know? Like, you could theoretically make or buy a controller that fits everything a normal controller has on one hand. But, like, you couldn't really ever do that with a DS game. Unless you're just fine, like, macroing any touchscreen input. It's like, yeah, you can do that. I know a bunch of people do that for, like, there's this, like, 3DS Dragon Ball fighter. Well, it's one 3DS Dragon Ball and One Piece fighting game that, like, have crossplay. And I know people just macro all the touchscreen controls on that. There's, like, there's obviously some level of accessibility you can draw out from stuff like that. I feel like I've gone very off topic with this conversation. The Wii U gamepad is cool. I should have got the drink before the stream. Maybe open it. It's already. That's also like kill this guy with hammers. So that does seem to move their message from chat. I kind of assumed it did, but I wasn't sure. Oh, that's why gathering felt so fast, because that's speed gathering. What is... Engager is what I wanted to talk. Can I just buy some of these guys? I guess I can buy chain off. Okay, just chain now. Guess I could go that just for the combo. It is nice. I do like speed gathering. Oh yeah. Wait, no, I did talk to him. Guess it just wanted me to go out again. think it's kind of sad that Wolf and guys. I guess I don't think GU has a like end of single player big award thing like the Sword and G and stuff. I always found that a neat thing. But, well, I don't know. Oh, does she not have Poké Promise yet? The knowledgeable guy. Damn. I guess I should have saved one of each of those. That's the one that I feel later. Grab one. I was wondering if there would be a, like, technically a chance you could just hard lock yourself if you just happen to not get any iron from the mega pickaxe you get, plus any iron pickaxes you could buy at the shop, but I don't think that would ever be possible, considering you could just grab, like, jaggy stuff and sell it from here. Like, even if stuff like unique shims could be resources, you can still sell all of stuff. But I think you do have infinite money to get from the start. I don't think you need that. For the fortress, I don't think. Well, I probably should have taken the torch, but that's just gonna feel unnecessary all the time. This isn't really that dark of a game. At least base try is not. I think this game makes everything gendered from what I understand. Right, so I'll check out what I can get here. I did not know that was what Giggy sounded like. Most of my time playing Shy was either with people in call or, well, listening to stuff in the background, so I never really heard the quieter sounds. Oh wait, this way. Sunlances. 2 bones, 1 pupfish. That should be about right, especially because probably an early fishing mission. I can fly. Don't know why I assumed I did. Oh, mega bug net, so let's go buy a normal bug net. I also fill up on fish and hot enough. I think that, like, I was kind of mulling over some stuff about the previous conversation in my head, so I do wonder if I feel like we are coming up at the time when there should probably be a semi-big swing in, like, a change in the gaming landscape. whether that is like just pure like momentary fad that a bunch of people chase, like the Wii. I guess people are kind of chasing the Switch still, but I feel like that feels like it didn't catch on nearly as much as the Wii in terms of like chasing. Like, I feel like a lot of people thought VR would be that, but VR sucks balls, so no one cares. I I think it's very funny that like alongside the Steam machine and stuff, they were like, we're doing another VR headset, and no one talked about it. People talked about them making a bad gaming PC. I'll cultivate oats. I think VR is like, I really do think VR is just one of those things where I don't know if they'll ever be able to get it to work. Like, what of the moits? Like, I think the problem with VR is similar to the problem with motion controls, where there are a lot of interesting applications for like, I think the thing that is interesting to me about VR is the motion tracking, allowing for like movement and stuff that feels good while also not being like, being able to just move your hand around is a lot easier than if there was a game about placing something on a table and the objects had physics, that would be very annoying because stuff would fall over very easily. But if you're using your hand, then it's not that bad, really. And I think that's much more interesting part of VR than the actual like immersive qualities of it. I don't think people ever have really wanted immersion in gaming. I think when people say immersion, they always mean something else, basically. Like, if it truly was VR makes things immersive, people want stuff that is immersive, then VR would have taken off with stuff like the Skyrim and Fallout 4 VR releases, rather than not really doing anything, even with stuff like that. And the most popular VR stuff is either VR chat, which is like, I think you could argue that VR chat is partially an immersion success in terms of like, I don't know why people like VR chat, truly, but I assume part of it is that it is a digital space that is a facsimile of the real space. You know, you get to hang out with your online friends, but in a way that feels natural and kind of like hanging out with them IRL. And also you can have e-sex. Well, compared to like But the other like notable VR takeoffs are like Beat Saber and similar stuff. And that is purely the physical movement of it. Which is very similar to what the Wii did, where like when the Wii came out, a lot of people talked about it as, oh, this will make stuff feel more immersive. Wii Sports is good because it really makes you feel like you're playing the sport, etc. When actually, the good points about the Wii were either like stuff that used it for increased precision with like shooting games and whatever, or stuff that used it as like stuff that used it as like a workout thing was also popular on Wii, which like is arguably an immersion quality, but I feel like it's very different. I think with like VR, the best thing to do with VR would probably be like board game adjacent stuff. Like something like an SRPG, but you move your units as like an overhanging hand of God, I think would be neat. Like that is on some level immersion in that it like I think it's a couple things, and that is both like you now do not have to mess around with menus and like any weird movement stuff, but also it is a sit down experience, so you would not have to stand up for that, which like obviously you would kind of want standing up to be encouraged with VR, but I feel like I go off on tangents a lot. I've been talking about this for like 40 minutes. Oh, hunter stuff. Nice. I was about to say that I might be making that. Why are Epi off so much? I can only take one. Okay. I'm going to be a yite back. I got used the bathroom. And we're back. After I also went to grab a drink. I misspelled check crazy style there. Why is it still here? I don't get how this works. Not that. Still there. Odd. Mushroom time. Just wait. Did I not have subquests in this game? Sorry if me drinking is kind of loud. I grabbed the Gatorade to hopefully soften up my neck a bit. I said that very young. That was not terminology. A lot of animations in this game. Oddly fast. Yeah, this game doesn't have side quests. Weird. I felt like I remembered this game not having them, but I kind of just assumed I was young. Because Chai has them. Does that make side quests like legitimately in exactly half of the game at some point? Because they're in GU, they're in 2, well, DOS. They're in Try. I think they're kind of in Yais at least. I feel like I remember them in Yais. They're not in first gen unless they're in Freedom, but I kind of doubt they're in Freedom because that feels like a larger change than Freedom would make. From what I know about Monster Hunter Freedom. They're not in World. I don't know if they're in Wilds. They're in 4 Ultimate, I know. I don't know if they're in... I don't remember if they're in Freedom Unite. I don't think they were. And I don't think they were in portable third. In my B8, I want to say they're, like, not in the portable games. But that's, like, not chill. Because they're in 4U and GU. So it is just kind of completely haphazard which ones they that have the best and not. Oh yeah, I should retweet the team thing again. I am kind of shocked how well this game is holding up, performance-wise. I don't know why. I guess I'm checking this for snake bee larva. I guess while I have had the internet open, I should have actually looked up which Monster Hunter games have subquests, but it just seems kind of scattershot. It's like, I guess that's not a bad thing. I'm pretty neutral on subquests as a concept. I think subquests are odd in that most subquests are either stuff like yank enemy parts or defeat a certain number of the mook enemies, which are kind of just stuff that will presumably happen while you're doing the quest normally. So it being a subquest just feels like it's rewarding you more for no reason. Or it's stuff like that and it is like weapon dependent. It's like cut tail and it's like, oh, I guess if you're using a hammer you're just kind of fucked this subquest yet. Which, like, that's something that's like, I think the blunt fizz split is kind of bad. I think it's a kind of bad gameplay decision that is inherently built into this franchise now. And I don't know if it's an inherently bad gameplay decision. I think it is just a decision that they don't lean into enough. Especially as the franchise goes on, they very much encourage you to spec into one weapon type. So if it's like, if there is ever a reason that you have to switch damage types, you know, oh, I need a tail and I'm on fucking a blunt weapon, that's kind of like annoying. That's kind of just ends up being annoying. I remember in Yais I needed Baroth scalps for fucking, what was I using in Yais? Why do I not remember? Switch axe. I was using a switch axe. Yeah, for the, I don't think it was even the Baroth switch axe. I just needed Baroth scalps. So like, in that situation, I am kind of just stuck. either doing captures to get the random chance that that gives a battle scalp, so I don't have to cut, or I'm just kind of stuck making a random shitty hammer so that I can get it. I think that the problem really is just there are not enough blunt weapons. If you want a blunt weapon, I'm pretty sure you're legitimately still stuck with hammer hunting horn, right? Yeah. And I think bow guns technically have blunt ammo? Is that true? So like, like, I guess I know Wilds kind of leads into this with the fact that they have fucking you able to bring up 2 weapons. But that's something where like at that point you're just using a weapon and you have a weapon of the different type that you pull out if it's needed, which is I think that's worse game design in functionally every way. Yeah. Yai's had a similar problem in that regard, where in Yai's you have like the 2 skill sets, and there's no reason to ever swap off the main one, because usually a weapon only has 1 good set of skills. Or at least one set of skills you like. Which, those are 2 different things, but I feel like... You know. No one's going to use something they actively dislike just because it's better most of the time. Like, people that are hardcore, like, optimizers in Monster Hunter games are not... They usually find fun in that optimization. They are not playing... They are not having fun, but playing Optimize. They are having fun while playing Optimize. So, like... I haven't played Wilds. Maybe the weapon swapping actually does feel really nice and does feel like it enhances the gameplay. But I don't think I've heard it, literally anyone have that opinion about Wilds. I don't think I've seen anyone mention that that's a thing in Wilds. Which is kind of mega bleak. Kind of giga bleak. Oh, like, you know. That's bad enough. Acolyte. I kind of doubt they'll do it at this point in the franchise. But I do hope whatever the next Monster Hunter game is, I assume it'll be like a portable style Switch 2 game. I hope it adds another weapon type. I don't know if, you know, that it'll be like one of the frontier weapon types. Both of which, from what I understand, would help with the blunt damage problem. Or if it'll be like, you know, some fucking new shit. Giant boomerang. It should be a giant boomerang if it's a new thing. But I really do think there should be a third blunt weapon at the very least. I don't care if it's like a mace, I don't care if it's tonfas, I don't care if it's a giant boomerang, I don't care if it's some other shit I haven't even considered. I think people that like the feelings of blunt weapons should be able to have more blunt weapons. You know? Because, like, there are meaningful gameplay differences between slashing and blunt weapons. You know, stunning is not something you can do super meaningfully with slash weapons, while it is something with blunt weapons. And I think I think there should be a fast blunt weapon. Like, I haven't tried them out, but I've seen them. I have tried out hunting a little bit, but they have sped up. I played World and GU with Eric, who uses hammer in both of those, and they seem massively sped up in those games. In the most recent two, I guess most recent two, Ignore Wild, which I have not heard of anything about because it is Monster Hunter Wild. No one has played that game because it yuns like shit. But I think it really is just like, I think all the current weapons are very interesting and very iconic. And I assume that the reason they haven't added a new weapon since for Ultimate is that both the 3 weapon with the Switch Axe and the 4 Ultimate weapons with Insect Glaive and Charge Blade are more gimmicky special weapons rather than generic weapon types. And that following up on that would be a lot harder if they feel the need to make something that feels special. But legitimately, it's just, they have made special feeling weapons. And also, they could just, I would be fine if it's a mace. If it's just fast hammer. Legit, is it just, I feel like I'm missing something. Is it still just those two? Am I missing, is like Switch Axe shockingly good? I guess, yeah, Sword Shield technically has blunt attacks. Yeah, I do think it's really just a thing where because this seems like it is a problem that Capcom knows exists because both of the Frontier weapons are blunt. Technically, I think Magnet Spike is also slashing. But I'm pretty sure that yeah, I'm pretty sure the impact mode of the Magnet Spike is blunt, and I assume Tonfas are. It'd be fucking weird if tonfas aren't. Impact. Okay, yeah, they just use impact as the term for blunt damage in the wiki. Or at least in terms of Frontier. I don't know why. Have to yeast up the cat. Let's do some ivy. I need it for all chops later. Will Fishmongus not work in this game, or do you unlock the Fishmongus a lot later than I actually do that? I'm very unsure of which games require you to have bait and which games just want you to have bait. Because I know some games you can fish without bait, but I don't think it is just pure. Like, I don't think it's just wolf and ice. Bio. So if I pull this out, and then ye cast with worms, do they all run away? Yes, okay. But I guess that does let you cycle for free. That's interesting. Yeah, now it seems like it's all big guys, doesn't it? Before there was, I think, a couple small ones. What the fuck? What the fuck? Well, I didn't know there was a thing you could do. I overreacted to that greatly. I overreacted to that not very odd moment very greatly. Yeah, I guess if you just gamble a bit, you can get multiple. That's cool. Wait, took my shit. I guess I need popfish. I should get popfish here. I assume the big one's glutton tuna. Tin tuna, actually. Don't know which one, what popfish looks like. I think popfish are big. Oh, I was young. They're small. Guess a big or small. What's that joke? And I don't know why, but I've always found wet fish a very interesting thing. Like, I'm pretty sure they're in one, so I assume they're kind of meant to... In one, whetstones are a lot harder to get, and they're also fully tied to mining until... I don't remember if whetstones you can only buy online, or if it's just a, like, post-monobloss thing in one. By one, I mean G, because I've only played G. I haven't actually played Monster Hunter 1 base. Like, I assume the thought process behind wetfish at the start was that it means bringing fishing material is equally as good as bringing mining material as a way to get extra whetstones mid-mission, which probably does matter more in that game because I feel like sharpness goes down very fast in that game, or at least it does for me. I use dual blades. I wouldn't be shocked if dual blades are just uniquely bad with sharpness in that game. I kind of know they are because Air used hammer in that game and did not seem to have to worry about sharpness at all. Okay, everything but the bones. What is the thing I like? If that is the thought process behind wetfish existing, I guess I get that, but I do think it is still a weird thought process. In terms of like, I guess also like if a mission were to go on like really fucking long, like I guess I'm thinking about one still, because I feel like that is the game where I've had the most sharpness issues. even stuff like Lao Shenlong, I feel like even if I was using the Lee Shock dual blades, I wouldn't go through 20 whetstones. So I assume it's not wet fish exists so that you can have multiple stacks of whetstones. Because I'm just unsure if that's a problem you would ever have. Because I was like, well, why wouldn't they just have it so you can fish up whetstones sometimes? And I don't know. I don't get why wet fish exists, I guess. Is just going to be my question of the day. Is it purely a flavor edition? This is a world where weird monsters exist, so of course there would be weird fish that are hard enough to sharpen weapons on. Is it purely flavor? That feels odd. It feels odd to make a flavor thing that is a gameplay mechanic, you know? No. This world's a mysterious place with mysterious people. Being able to just one-tap knock out Kelby is very funny to me. I feel like usually I use weapons that like have to multi-hit them. I guess not yet. I feel like they're just weaker in this game. I feel like in Shy, even with like the fucking trail switch axe, I'm fine. I'm fine. I have to like 2-tap them usually. Maybe that is just me misremembering though. Only one horn, then. The camera in this game is too fast. Hey man, nothing happened here. Nothing to worry about, dude. Hey, you got off. How long range is the gun line? Like, okay, very short range. Is weapon fire long range? That seems longer range. Oh, weapon fire in this game is purely visual. I feel like usually there's like a big wyvern fire bullet indicator. But that would be me being misremembering. Part of the reason I might want another impact weapon is just that it would be very cool if they did bring in the fun frontier weapons, because I just prefer using the more gimmicky, non-normal weapons. Like, in the 3 Monster Hunter games, I guess 4. I would consider myself having meaningfully played 4 Monster Hunter games, which is G, Tri. I don't know if I would even consider myself having already meaningfully played Tri, but I'm currently trying to meaningfully play Tri. Ah, why did I make that noise? G, Tri, Yais, and Old. And I guess also GU. GU as well. In those games, I have played Dual Blades in G. I am doing Switch Axe and Shy, because that's the first game Switch Axe appeared on. I did Insect Glaive and Wold, because Wold was my comeback game to Monster Hunter, and I remembered really liking Insect Glaive when I played 4 as a kid. And then in Guys, I played Switch Axe because I just the reason I played Switch Axe in Guys was that I knew the Gormagala was in the eyes, and I really liked the Switch Axe of the Gormagala because it's a cool sight. Ignore that Yais, you functionally never have to actually use Switch Axe mode of Switch Axe, so I functionally did not use the actual save mode. Ignore that. That's not important. And then in GU, I tried using Charge Blade, but felt like it was... I don't know why I didn't feel Charge Blade. I think it was just that you start off with very few evolution choices for it. So I felt kind of stuck with just... Because I think Charge Blade doesn't have the iron? I don't think there's an iron? Wait, no, I don't think there's a bone Charge Blade in Geo. So you just have the Fender, I think? No, it's a... I don't remember the name of the GU specific weapon set that are like Yoks. I think you only have the Burna and the metal Youts. And I just found that it felt very unnecessarily restrictive. That plus I wanted to do it with... Okay, there's actually a couple reasons. One is I plan to play through GU with more people than just Error at some point. So I was like, I'll do Charge Blade then, or I'll do something else. No. I'm hoping Charge Blade because after... I wanted to do it with the dodge style. And the dodge style feels weird. Because what I didn't know about GU was how much the styles changed per weapon. So I didn't know that for shield weapons, the dodge thing was actually more of like a counter block thing, usually, it seems. So that made me unsure if I would... I'm not mega good at Monster Hunters. So wanting to do that just kind of made me feel like I might have... I felt like if I did play that way, I might just be throwing forever, and that would suck of me to do. And so it's just kind of one of those things where I had a couple reasons. I should have drank that Gatorade, and I have to keep it. So I had like a couple reasons I didn't feel like doing Charge Blade at the moment of playing GU. But I am very excited to play GU, to play Charge Blade either. I might play 4U some with Ava, because we are both nostalgic for 4U. Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, that's what 4U means. And we both own it physically, so if I do move in with her, we might play it physically together, which would be very fun. That would be a very nice experience to have. And also, we might just play it on emulator. If I don't know how much she's feeling shy. I don't know how much anyone's feeling shy because a bunch of stuff made it so we haven't really been able to play Chai all that much recently. You know, I am very much enjoying Chai. I don't know how anyone else feels about Chai. Thoughts on Monster to Chai chat? That's exactly it. That's very nice. I think this was faster. Uh, for context, by the way, the reason I'm playing the Ultimate specifically, rather than like, I don't know, anything else, is that I don't know if I'll ever play the Ultimate with other people because of the circumstances around Wii U emulation, meaning that I don't know if, even if like Pretendo sets up private servers for Monster Hunter Tri, I don't know how that will affect the Wii U. I don't know how that will affect the Wii U, and even if it does end up working well, and like they fix that whole needing a Wii U ID to make it work thing, I just think like we already are playing Tri because Tri is an interesting game because of it being like this weird soft reboot. So we're already playing it, and I don't know how much everyone else would want to, on some level, play Monster Hunter Tri. Because, like, even if it is a very different game on a lot of levels, it is still Monster Hunter Tri at its core, this game. I don't know why I'm carrying this Wyvern egg, I just kind of felt like it would be funny. I'm really gonna lose it to cats. I don't know if I'm hallucinating this game and having shockingly good sound mixing. I assume I am, but that felt very directional. Shocked like, oh, this Wyvern egg. Okay. Is it not letting me deliver the egg? This game, I'm killing myself. Okay, actually I can't go pee because I have to collect the question mark, so. This game beats my ass. I'm mad about that, Loki. The, like, item sprites in this game look very crisp, by the way. I don't know. I assume it's because, Wold and Yais have, like, different item sprites. But these look like they're just, like, upscales of the old ones. And they look very crisp for some reason, even compared to, like, GU. I don't know why. Okay. E-gate back. And I'm back. Wappa wappa wappa. Dubba dubba dub dub. I should put away my stuff first. Beat Jackie up? Okay, sorry. Jumbo bombs. I don't remember how you get jumbo bombs. Oh, the 8-bone rounds. That's interesting. Interesting. I guess that means I should probably spawn a second bone gun. Don't got nitro shields. I guess actually I should take some. I'll take like 2 fishing rods. Also have to buy an iron pick. This is a very off-topic question, but like, I was thinking about it because of how the item icons look in this game. I assume at least at some point they started vector rendering Monster Hunter items, like the little item icons, but they look very vector rendery to me at least. I wonder. I don't know when vector rendering became a technology that exists, so I don't know if that would have been from the start, and these are actually the same icons, or if these are maybe the first pass at vector icons or something. I guess it would kind of make sense if they are the first pass, because this is the first game that is one-to-one released on console and handheld, so it would kind of make sense that they would make the easy Yi size ones for this. Right? Ah. I was checking those because I remember for the Switch Axe in Shy, I needed a Jumbo Pearl for something. I think you get those from just checking these as a airdrop. I might be yogged about my memory about that a little while ago. I know this is a pretty basic opinion, but the Logia hood does have a really good design. Let's swim back. Be sure that spawns monster gut guys here. Wait, did you just get monster guts from Epiots and I'm stupid? Yes. That makes me feel quite foolish. Monster guts together. Two. Nice. I guess this Get Crawlstone will be good money. At the point of the game where I do need money, so. Sorry for so much shaking. It's my desk. I hope it's not too annoying, but yeah, it's not something I can currently fix. Unless I like... I guess I probably could have fixed it at some point in my life by like adding shit to the desk to balance the little bit that's moving, but that sounds annoying. Ah! Lucky a few jump scare. I wonder if this game still uses stock for stuff. Because something I find interesting about Shy is that it randomly used weapon guide, heart shield. Seems like no. I guess the most notable thing is the dash. Seems like sometimes, but most of the time they give us special thing. Interesting. I wonder why this mission gives fishing harpoons when you don't actually... I just realized I have not been eating. Probably should have been. I find it interesting that this game does kind of treat oxygen the same way it treats hunger. You would think it'd be a much faster draining gauge than it is, but it really does feel like... Not like... yeah, I guess hunger. Yeah, it treats it like hunger rather than treating it like stamina. It's something that goes down very slowly, but is very deadly if you ignore it. I think that's interesting. there's something like... It's a lot more Yisk reward because there's a lot less Yisk. There's a lot less immediate Yisk. So you have to consider it a lot stronger. Like, if it was just very quickly James, I feel like it would be like, yeah, there's no reason to ever not take the slightly quicker path that doesn't have bubbles, you know? But here it's like, yeah, maybe there is a world where I should not refill my air gauge right now, but I'll get to the monster faster, so I'll be able to pressure it more. Because, you know, if I kill the monster, I have no reason to ever need to get air. That kind of thought process I find interesting. And I feel like that thought process would not really exist if it was a thing you were constantly aware of, rather than something that is kind of in the back of your mind as, you know. It being something that usually deals with itself means that when it doesn't deal with itself, you feel like you fucked up more, I feel. I don't know if that makes sense. I think it does. Okay, this is when you get the bug guys. That makes sense. I kind of remember that. I forget. Yai's was announced during Iceborne updates, right? Is that true? Let me look this up. Because from what I understand, assuming Wilds does follow a similar release schedule to World, we are kind of coming up on when Wilds DLC will be announced. So I was wondering when you guys, if that is Capcom trying to make a schedule for Monster Hunter, which, like, with Monster Hunter being one of Capcom's biggest franchises, I wouldn't be shocked if they do kind of want a consistent schedule. Oh, the hiccups. I guess what I'm saying is, as much as Wild seems like it is a game that is getting better, especially if they do optimize it with the new update, which they have promised to do, I am more excited for whatever they plan next than Wilds being a better game than it is. Okay. I think I will probably be calling stream soon because my throat is hurting and I don't want to fuck up my throat. Both for, you know, yes, for today, I'm gonna hang out with my girlfriend, but also because I just kind of, you know, it'll make streaming tomorrow worse if I fuck it up. Fuck it up. Okay. Seems like that is everything. I'll go save and then quit. Okay. It's the end of the stream. I legitimately do not remember if I set tomorrow as me doing a variety stream or if I set tomorrow as the special project I have planned, which is something I am excited for, but also might go very poorly. Um, Let me check what I had said I planned to do and therefore what I am going to follow up on. There it is. Okay, yeah, tomorrow is the funny gimmick. And then Sunday's variety. I also realized I don't know how much I'll stream Sunday because that's my dad's birthday. So I might be doing other stuff. Oh. Okay. Ciao, ciao.